has completed the terms and conditions of her probation, and she is at the halfway point. Ms. Stevenson?
The matter be closed with improvement, Your Honor.
All right, the court is going to. Why is that talking? Okay. The court is going to, discharge Ms. Richardson from probation with improvement and close the matter out. Anything further?
Nothing on behalf of Ms. Richardson. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Richardson, you're all set. Congratulations. Good luck to you. We will mail you a copy of the discharge for your records. Have a great day and stay safe.
Thank you kindly. You too as well.
Thank you. I told you it was working. It's working. I don't need.
You have a loose power cable, that's why I didn't make sure it's picked up there all the way. So,
Okay, well, I have to do it later.
that's fine.
All right, are the people, going to do an opening statement?
Very briefly.
All right, you may.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Your Honor, people bring forth a case in front of the court involving the complainant witness Lynise Jones, who was an ex-girlfriend of an individual named Lynise Jackson Dozier. At a location in Detroit, Your Honor, on February 10th of 2023, Ms. Jones came into contact with the defendant, Erin Dozier Jackson, and her ex partner, Lynise Dozier Jackson. At this location, Your Honor, the defendant got out of the vehicle and proceeded towards the complainant witness's vehicle, striking the complainant witness's vehicle with a tire iron. The defendant also rammed her vehicle into the complainant witness's vehicle, causing damage to her vehicle. Judge, I want the court to pay attention to the testimony from the complainant witness who will testify what happened on that day when she came in contact with the defendant, Erin Dozier Jackson. Your Honor, the people also have the reporting officer, Officer Stephen Scott, who will give testimony to the court as to what happened when he reported to the incident on this day, Judge, and what happened when he came into contact with the defendant on on another police run, and who will corroborate the tire iron that was found in the complaint or the defendant's vehicle and the damage that were consistent with the damages to Ms. Jones' vehicle. So with the evidence that will be provided today, Judge, the people ask the court to find Ms. Erin Dozier Jackson guilty of one count of illicit destruction of personal property, 200 or more, but less than 1,000.
All right, any opening on behalf of the defense at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe the evidence is going to show that at the time of this incident, the automobile in question was in fact owned by, registered to, Your Honor, someone other than the complaining witness. In fact, that's the person who is the legal wife of my client, Your Honor. I believe the people are going to fail in their attempt to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that there was any damage that occurred, specifically if there was any damage that occurred to the property of another. I believe the evidence is going to show through testimony that my client and the owner of the motor vehicle in question were legally married at the time, that the motor vehicle was registered to my client's spouse. And further, that the damage, the incident, the complaining witness would describe just did not take place.
Approach. can send this to me. Courtney, come here.
You may proceed. Call your first witness.
Thank you, Judge. At this time, we would like to call Curtis Jones to the stand.
What was,
Ms. Jones, I'm gonna take you
Ms.
back.
Jones, I know I'm sitting right next to you now, but you're gonna have to raise your voice. See that microphone? It moves around, the handle can move up and down, cause I could barely hear you just now, and I need to be able to hear everything you say, plus my court reporter does too, and I guess Ms. Stevenson does too, cause she's gonna ask questions. All right, Ms. Ritter.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Jones, I'm gonna take you back to February 10th of 2023. Do you recall that day?
Yes,
And Ms. Jones, if you can, for purposes of the record in the court, just keep your voice up, and if you need me to repeat a question, or if you don't understand my question, just let me know, okay?
okay.
Thank you. So, Ms. Jones, On February 10th of 2023, were you at Moraine in Rock City or in the city of Detroit?
Yes,
And is that in the county of Wayne?
yes.
And Ms. Jones, can you start by telling the court what you were doing at that location?
I was originally going to pick up the title registration
The title registration to what?
to my car.
Okay, and can you describe your car to the court?
It's a 2009 Ford Escape.
Okay, what color is it?
It's gray.
Okay, and who were you picking that title registration up from?
From the mother,
Who's the mother?
Jackson Dozier's mother.
Okay, and what happened when you got to the location?
I got to the location, I realized they weren't there, so I proceeded to leave, and
And when you say they, who are you referring to?
Aaron Peter Jackson Dozier and Cornelia Jackson Dozier.
Okay, and out of the two people that you named in court, do you see one of those people in the courtroom today?
Yes,
Can you point them out and tell me what they're wearing?
she's wearing a black blazer.
Can you describe how her hair is?
She got a brown patch and it's in a ponytail and the rest is out.
And who you, recognize that person to be?
Cornelia Jackson Dozier's wife,
What's her name?
Aaron Jackson Dozier.
Thank you, Judge. May the record reflect the identification of the defendant, Aaron Dozier Jackson or Jackson Dozier?
The record will reflect the identification of Ms. Dozier Jackson.
Thank you, Your Honor. And when you realized that, the individuals weren't at the home, what did you proceed to do?
Go home.
Okay, and what happened when you proceeded to go home?
In the midst of me proceeding to go home, I was stopped at the light,
Which light, you recall?
Rossiter's light.
Okay, and who are you stopped?
She said what light?
Rossiter's,
Oh, Ross.
yes.
And who are you stopped by?
I was stopped by Cornelia Jackson Dozier and Aaron Jackson Dozier.
Okay, and when you say you were stopped by them, how were you stopped by them?
Well, I had to wait for traffic, and in the midst of me waiting for traffic, they spent the block and pulled behind me.
Okay, when you say pull behind you, how were they traveling?
It was a steady travel.
I'm sorry, what type of transportation? Was it a bike?
It was a black truck.
Okay, so they were in a vehicle
Yes,
and they pulled behind you,
yes.
and what happened next?
After that, Aaron Jackson Dozier proceeded to get out. And I believe it was a confrontation first before she started attacking the vehicle. It was a confrontation first.
And when you say a confrontation first, between who?
It was a confrontation between me and Aaron Jackson Dozier.
Was this a verbal confrontation or
It
physical?
was a verbal confrontation at first. It proceeded to physical.
Okay.
after.
So let me step back a minute. So where were you when this verbal confrontation?
In my car,
And where was Miss Erin Jackson Dozier?
outside of my car.
Okay, and what happened after this verbal confrontation occurred?
After the verbal confrontation, she pulled something out and got the jabbing at the car.
Okay, when you say she, who are you referring to?
Aaron Jackson Dozier.
Okay, did you see what she pulled out?
I believe it was a pick or a knife. I'm not sure.
Okay, and you said that she jabbed at the car? Can you
Yes.
describe that to the court, please?
She held her hand up with whatever item she had in her hand and she like tried to stab the window, but it went through the plastic of the car, not through my window. But then after she realized that no, that was just being done, she went down to the tire, which caused my tire to bust.
Okay, and what happened after that?
After that, I tried to leave, I pulled off.
Okay, and did anything else happen after that?
After that, they proceeded to follow me.
Okay, when you say they, who are you referring to?
Cornelia Jackson Dozier and Aaron Jackson Dozier.
Okay, and where were you when they proceeded to follow you? Do you recall?
I was honestly just trying to get away. I didn't look at streets.
Okay.
No.
And what happened in the midst of you trying to get away from, Miss Dozier Jackson?
Well, they obviously were still following me. In the midst of me trying to get away, I believe I was trying to back up or reverse, and she like rammed into the side of my car.
And when you say she, who are you referring to?
Cornelia Jackson Dozier.
Okay, so let's go back just a little bit. Who was driving the vehicle that, was
Cornera,
Okay, so where was Miss Erin Jackson Dozier?
and a passenger at the time.
Okay, and what happened after that?
After that, we were in traffic, I had to stop, I didn't want anything to go any further, so after I stopped, Erin Jackson Dozier proceeded to get out of the car with whatever she had in her hand and started hitting the car.
Okay, and do you recall what she had in her hand?
I believe it was like a tire rod. I honestly can't tell you what specific item it was just big and black.
Okay, and what did she do with that object?
She proceeded to hit the car,
And where on the car did she hit
the side of my window in the front
it? Okay, and the side of which window?
of my passenger,
Okay, and the front of which window?
my driver.
Okay, and what were you doing at this time?
I was trying to get away without hurting anyone, so I was still, just trying to get away to stop her from hitting my car.
And where were you located at this time?
I was still in my car at the time.
Okay. What, if anything, do you remember Miss Cornise, is it Cornise? Cornera Jackson Dozier doing at this time?
She was honestly just the driver.
Okay, and when Miss Erin Jackson Dozier was hitting your vehicle with the tire iron, what happened after that?
After that, I was able to get away and I pulled off to whatever nearest street that I could. And I sat there because the car was smoking, but after that, I don't think they tried to follow me after that.
Okay, and at any point, did you contact the police?
I called my mother and she was the one that contacted the police.
Okay, when did you call your mom?
As soon as it happened, as soon as I was able to stop, really.
Okay, and what happened after you called your mom?
After I called my mom, she called the police for me and my cousins, and they came to make sure I was okay, basically.
Do you remember where you were at this point?
No,
Okay, and did you come in contact with the police at any time?
yes,
Okay, do you recall how long it took for the police to come to the scene?
I would say about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, and did you speak with the police?
Yes,
Okay, do you recall how many officers showed up to the scene?
it was 2, and then I believe another car came, which made 3.
Okay, and do you recall giving any statements to the police?
Yes, I talked to one officer about what previously happened, and then I told him about the situation that was going on now.
Okay, and just to go back a little bit, Ms. Jones, do you know Ms. Erin Jackson Dozier?
Not personally,
You don't know her personally?
no.
Okay, how do you know Miss, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting her name.
Cornera,
Miss Cornera Jackson Dozier, how do you know her?
we were together at a point in time.
Say that again.
We were together at a point in time.
One second. All right, okay, proceed. Thank you, Judge. So how long were you with Cornera Jackson Dozier?
About a year and a half.
Okay, and during this incident, were you still in a relationship with Mr. Jackson Dozier?
We were ending things at the time.
Okay, and during the course of the relationship, did you own this 2009 Ford Escape?
Yes,
Okay, and was the car in your name at this time?
no.
Why not?
I believe I was still figuring things out as far as all of the information I needed for my car. I didn't think I needed my state ID or license. So in the midst of doing that, while we were together, she already had all of that. That's the only reason why I put the car in her name.
And who is she?
Cornera Jackson Dozier.
Okay, and what was the time period when you and Miss Cornera Jackson Dozier were in a relationship?
I would say June of 2021 to January of 2023.
Okay, so you and Miss Jackson Dozier ended you and Miss Cornera Jackson Dozier ended your relationship in January 2023.
Yes,
Okay, so a month prior to this incident.
yes,
Okay, and you were still in possession of this 2009 Ford Escape?
yes,
Was Miss Cornelia Jackson Dozier ever in possession of the 2009 Ford Escape?
No,
Okay. And earlier you said in your testimony that you went to get the title and registration from who?
I was supposed to get it from her mother. It was supposed to be her dropping it off and then me picking it up.
Who's her mother?
Aisha Dozier.
Okay, so that's the mother of whom?
Cornelia Jackson Dozier.
Okay, so you were going to get this title and registration from her mother
Yes,
that she was dropping off to?
yes,
So she agreed to give you the title registration?
yes.
For what reason?
We were ending things. I needed to get the car out of her name since we were decided to end the thing. And that was how we decided to do it, to avoid any extra that would have been caused.
Okay. May I have one moment, Judge? You may. Thank you. I have no further questions for the witness, Judge.
In the cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Jones.
Good afternoon.
Do you have, any proof of ownership of the car in question?
I have my title and registration.
You do?
Yes,
Do you have it with you?
yes,
That's it.
yes.
Partial witness, Your Honor. And approach the witness, Your Honor.
You may.
And before that, is this is all the proof of ownership that you have of the vehicle? Well, let me ask you this, you believe that you have a certificate of title for the vehicle in question, correct?
Yes,
And you believe you have the registration that was issued by the Secretary of State for the vehicle, correct?
yes.
Okay, and approach the witness.
Right.
I'm gonna ask you to take a good look at both of those documents up hand. I'm handing you the certificate of title and I'm handing you the registration. So I just want you to take a look at those, okay? Because I'm gonna ask you some questions about them. All right. Okay, now the incident that you described to the court this morning or this afternoon, do you remember what date that occurred?
Yes,
What date was that?
February 10th, 2023.
Okay, can you tell the court the date of issue of the certificate of title?
May 11th, 2023.
Okay, can you tell the court the date of issue of the registration? You know that when you ask me this while you're looking, oh, I'm sorry, you found.
It doesn't say.
Okay, does it say when it expired?
Yes, 7/9/2024.
Okay. So, Your Honor, and you got the certificate of title from the Secretary of State?
Yes,
You got the registration from the Secretary of State?
yes,
Okay, so Your Honor, I'm gonna, offer into evidence of office exhibit, defense exhibits 1 and 2.
Any objection? No objection.
ask permission to publish the exhibit.
Right.
Well, don't put it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm gonna just give the stickers to them.
Or make a copy of it and put the sticker on a copy, but don't put a sticker on her title.
Gotcha, okay. Can I do that now?
Yes. Mhm.
No, that was me. Oh, sorry.
First of all, you sign.
You may.
And I'm gonna return those documents to them. And then, so just to be clear, on the registration too, in the title.
All right. And if I didn't say that defendant proposed exhibits, did I ask you any objection? Right. Oh, any objection? That's why you said. Then defense, proposed exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted as defense exhibits 1 and 2.
Okay, just, I'm sorry, I'm freezing, so I can't think straight. So did I?
Man, you freezing, did you get your iron level check?
I need to, but it's really cold in here. So did I call one the
Well,
registration?
who else is called, raise your hand, okay, we're not. Y'all call, oh, y'all just wanted to co-sign with Ms. Steve, y'all didn't want her to feel alone, it is not cold.
He's freezing on his floor.
Ms. River, okay. If the number 1 is the title, number 2 is the registration.
Okay, and then, thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Jones, so prior to, or on February 10th of 2023, did you know, Ms. Erin Jackson Dozier, also known as Ms. Erin Peters?
Yes,
Okay, and how did you know her?
I knew her, Cornelius Jackson's wife, but I don't personally know her.
Okay. All right, I don't have.
Any redirect?
Briefly good. Ms. Jones. So you testified that you were the owner of the 2009 Ford Escape at the time of this incident, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and you saw the documents, or you provided documents with title and registration in your name to that vehicle, correct?
yes.
I apologize. State your question before. What was your first question? I'm sorry.
Was she the owner of the vehicle on the day of the incident?
Okay, right, and her answer was,
No, not the day.
Judge, can the court clerk read, or the court reporter read that back?
yeah, because I thought it was something different,
Me
but
too.
yes, please read it back for me, thank you.
Question, Ms. Jones, so you testified that you were the owner of the 2009 Ford Escape at the time of this incident?
Correct, answer, yes.
Okay, Ms. Green, thank you, Judge. So, Ms. Jones, the title registration that she provided to the court was issued when?
The title was issued May 11th of 2023.
Okay, and that was after this incident?
Yes,
And is that the reason why you went to the location to get the title registration for
yes,
the car?
yes.
Okay, now, I'm gonna ask you, Ms. Jones, pertaining to what you testified earlier, Ms. Jackson Dozier, did damage to this vehicle during this incident on February 10th, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and if you can restate what those injuries were to the vehicle?
My tire was busted, my window was cracked more, and there's like a jab on my passenger door.
Okay, and did you ever get, those issues repaired?
I got my tire fixed in the inside of the car, not the outside damages that were done on them.
Okay, may I approach Judge?
You may.
Ms. Jones, I just handed you a document in court. When you're done looking at that document, can you look up, please? Do you recognize the document I just handed you?
Yes,
What do you recognize the document to be?
it's a receipt from when I got my tire repaired the day after the incident.
Okay, and has that document changed or altered in any way since you've seen it?
No,
Judge, at this time, if people move to submit people's proposed exhibit, I can't say one because Ms. Stevenson used the numbers. A, she took yours, I know,
Yeah.
really.
I'm sorry. I want some cold.
No, you can use, well, no, I like, people say exhibit A. Any objection?
I didn't see it.
I'm sorry. Ms. Ritter, may I approach you?
May. Ms. Dixon, just so you're aware, your client from this morning is still in the waiting room. That came back, Mr. Allen. I don't know if he's on regular phone, if he's still on the phone. Or he's on video, but he was scheduled this morning. Because he came and. Oh, he was on the phone. Well, why? Oh, Allen is the one that just left. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Mr. Allen, he was just the one that left. Yeah, he was this morning. Let me move him. Shut my name down. What was he scheduled for? Allen? Oh,
$400.
let's get this. Awesome. We got a sweater.
thank you.
We have a sweater in that drawer. She not gonna put it on. You know.
No objection.
All right, then, people's proposed exhibit A is admitted as people's exhibit. Judge, at this time, people move to admit people's.
I already just said it was in there.
I'm sorry. At this time, people like to publish people's exhibit A to the court. All right, you may. Thank you, Madam Pro Tem, you may. And Ms. Jones, do you recall how much you paid, to get your tire fixed?
Yes, it was $60.
Okay, and you testified that there were other damages to your vehicle that you did not,
Yes,
fix at the time?
yes.
Okay. Did you ever get an estimate for those damages?
The inside damages, yes, not the outside damages.
Okay, and how much, do you recall how much the estimated damages were for the inside of your vehicle?
It was about like $319.
Okay, Judge, may I approach? You may.
Ms. Jones, I just handed you a document, when you're done reviewing that, just move it. The document I just handed you, Ms. Jones, what do you recognize that document to be?
A receipt for that sign damages that was done to my car.
And has that document been changed or altered in any way?
No,
Judge, the people move to the people's proposed exhibit B into evidence. Any objection? She didn't see it.
we can show it to her before you.
I'm sorry, I'm moving too fast.
Sorry.
Not for,
Also, she didn't see it. You called too?
perhaps something.
Ain't nobody cold with them. Ain't nobody cold with this. I'm not cold. We don't, I'm calm. Church say. What you doing on my printer? You keep on coming up here with my printers, my copiers.
I think this is the last one.
Oh. You called out to procurement. Find out what the charge is for the paper.
No objection.
To me calling procurement or to the,
Yeah, absolutely object to that.
all right, people's proposed exhibit, B is admitted as people's exhibit B.
Thank you, Judge. At this time, people like to publish people's exhibit B to the court.
You may,
May I approach your honor?
you may.
And may I have one more, Judge?
You may.
No further questions, your honor.
All right, anything further to speak, sir?
No, thank you. Your Honor.
I have a question. I must have missed something, so give me a moment. I'm confused. All right, you said exhibit B is damage for, I thought you said this is damage for the inside of your vehicle or something. Did you say that?
Yes,
So my first question is what, I thought I wrote down the damage. What's inside the vehicle?
it was the passenger side that was smoking. He said that it was a busted caliber. I had to replace that
A busted who?
caliber. The side that was smoking,
Okay,
that was a part of the inside. The outside damages as far as the part that's above the tail light, but I didn't repair.
mhm. Okay, and then, but you, okay. This receipt is for $319.
Yes,
And on the receipt, it says front rotors.
yes.
What do the front
But
rotors
that
have to do with this?
The other side, that whole complete side of my passenger side was damaged. I had to get all of their replaced.
Based on what?
The mechanic,
No. What did Miss, I don't know what your name is. Ma'am, what's your name?
Jackson Dozier.
Oh, so Miss, really, you all have it wrong on the complaint, I guess. I don't know. It says Dozier Jackson on the complaint. My question is, what did Miss Jackson Dozier allegedly do to your rotor? How did your rotors get damaged as a result of her having a knife?
when they collided to the side of my car,
Oh, that caused you to get bad rotors?
that's what the mechanic said. I went literally right after. He told me everything I needed to be fixed.
Right, I know. I mean, everything that needed to be fixed, but he said it was based on the fact that somebody ran into you? Cause I never heard
He just
that.
said based on the damaged caliber on the passenger side, that was it. I only had to replace
Okay.
that side.
All right, that's it, that's all. All right.
Following up.
Hold on, cause it's not your witness, so be careful, hold on, slow down. I know you cold. Any questions based on my question, Ms. Ritter?
Briefly, Judge. So, Ms. Jones, The court asked you what damages were done based off what Ms. Erin Jackson knows reviewed, correct?
Right.
Okay, so what damages were done to the outside of the vehicle? Explain those there.
The damages was the crack on the window and I really don't, it's the front right hand, the passenger side, right above the tire, all of that is damaged.
Okay, so what happened to the front end by the passenger?
It's like, it's crashed,
Okay, how did it get crashed?
they collided into me.
And who was it?
Aaron Jackson Dozier and Cornelia Jackson Dozier.
Okay, and you said that's the front passenger side?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions.
Ms. Gibson?
Very briefly, the exhibit that the people have called the one where is this road? I can't read it very well. So can you tell us what the first line item is? What does that say? Let me ask you this, does it say brakes?
I'm sorry, I can't read it out either.
Okay, all right.
And I apologize, I do, just aside from that, I meant to ask this question. With respect to them crashing into you, you stated that the other Miss Jackson Dozier was the driver of the vehicle, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, ma'am, you may step down and you are free to remain in the courtroom. Anything further? On behalf of the people,
Say that again.
anything further on behalf of the people?
Yes, sir, at this time, people like to call officers, please stop to speak.
Okay. All right. Step this way and raise your right hand. You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, Officer Scott.
Yes. Good morning. I'm sorry. Good afternoon,
Is this officer, correct? Is that the correct ranking?
officer.
Okay, and Officer Scott, can you state your full name for the court, please?
Officer Stephen Scott.
And Officer Scott, are you currently employed?
Yes, I am.
Where are you employed?
Detroit Police Department.
And how long have you been employed with the Detroit Police Department?
6 years.
And Officer Scott, I want to take you back to February 10th of 2023. Were you employed with the Detroit Police Department on that day?
Yes, I was.
And what were your duties on that day as a Detroit police officer?
Patrol officer.
Okay, can you describe to the court what that entails?
We answer 911 calls in between patrolling the neighborhoods.
And Officer Scott, did you receive a call to the area of Moraine and Ross here?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And what happened when you arrived? Well, strike that. Moraine and Ross here, is that the city of Detroit,
Yes, it is.
County of Wayne?
County of Wayne.
And what happened when you arrived at that location?
Forgive me, that was a minute ago. I believe we responded to a police run and we were flagged down.
Okay, and do you recall who flagged you down? Well, let me ask
I can't recall the name exactly from memory right now. You know, I had a brief moment to look at my report. So I
And
can't.
looking at your report, would that refresh your recollection?
Yes, it was.
Okay, Judge Merrill Pro, you may. When you're done reading your report, Officer Scott, just look up.
Yes, ma'am.
And just face down, you put that face down, thank you. Okay, so, after looking at your report, Officer Scott, do you recall who flagged you down at this location?
Yes, Mr. Jones.
Okay, and if you recall, do you see Ms. Jones in the courtroom?
Sitting back there behind my officer.
Okay, can you point her out and tell me what she's wearing?
She's white hair and
She's wearing, huh?
she has white hair and she has blue or black top. I can't tell you.
Just make the record reflect identification. The record reflect identification of the complainant witness, Ms. Curtis Jones.
So you have us laughing, I apologize. Okay, the record will reflect the identification of Ms. Jones.
Thank you, Judge. And, do you recall, if anything, what happened when you came to contact with Ms. Jones?
Yes, I threw her flag down. And she let us know what happened. She got cut off in our car and then, I did believe this is her ex-wife.
Okay,
And her new wife for trying to attack her.
okay. And do you recall, noticing anything about Ms. Jones or the vehicle she was traveling in?
Yeah, she made it very clear. She pointed out that her vehicle was damaged by a tool from her ex-wife.
Okay, did you notice any damages to her vehicle when you arrived?
Yeah, there's flat tires, some scratches on the door, windshield or something. I don't know the exact, I remember something about the flat tire and some other damages on the vehicle.
Okay. And, do you recall anything else during your investigation at this time?
Yeah, that she was able to track the whereabouts of her ex-wife.
Okay, and what did, say that again?
Which is how we were able to track her down and make the arrest.
Okay, do you recall how you were able to track her down and make her arrest?
Yes, she said she had her location, which was active, so she gave me an approximate address.
Who is she?
Sorry, Mrs. Jones.
Okay.
Gave me an approximate address of where he was at. Me and my partner went to that address.
And what happened when you got to that address?
We were able to find the vehicle that Ms. Jones described to us that her ex-wife was driving.
Do you recall how that vehicle looked?
Black vehicle, I do not remember much, black SUV, I think it was.
Okay, and did you notice anything about that vehicle? Do you recall noticing anything about that vehicle?
I don't recall much about the vehicle, I do remember.
Okay, and looking at your report,
Yeah.
did that help you refresh your recollection?
Yes, please.
And when you're done, just look at it. Are you done with your report, officer? Okay, now, based on what you put in your, or based off your observation of the vehicle, after looking at your report, do you recall anything about the vehicle?
It was a black SUV.
Okay, do you recall anything else about that?
It was parked in the Fisher Magnet parking lot next to the basketball courts.
Okay. Did you,
And it was occupied, a couple people inside.
okay, do you recall how many people were occupying that vehicle?
There are two, Miss Karina Dozier and Karen Dozier were seated in the front seats, and then there were two males in the back, two younger males in the back seat.
Okay, and any of the people that were in that vehicle on that day, did you see any of them in the courtroom today?
I believe this is Ray Dozier. I'm trying to, I can't remember exactly face to face of who it was.
Okay, that's fine.
I do have the names in my head of who I arrested, but I just can't put the face.
That's fine. Do you recall seeing anybody in the vehicle in the courtroom?
That's true.
Okay, who is she? Well, I'm sorry, the person you're referring to is she. Can you point them out and tell me what they're?
Yes. She's wearing a black suit. She said to your left.
Can you describe anything else about that person?
She has black and light brown hair.
Judge, may the record reflect identification of the defendant is Aaron Jackson. The record reflects that identification. Thank you. And did you observe any damage or injuries to the vehicle, this black SUV vehicle that you approached?
Nothing that specific stood out to me. I
Okay,
can't remember right now.
okay, that's fine. And what happened after you approached the vehicle?
After we made, you identified the goal, and based off the accusation made by Ms. Jones, we made the arrest.
Okay, when you say we identified them both, who are you referring to as them?
The driver and passenger.
Okay, and do you recall out of the driver and the passenger where Miss Erin Jackson Dozier was sitting?
She was the passenger.
Okay, and did you do anything after you made the arrest?
I guess we recovered a tire, I think it was, of the back of the vehicle, which was supposed to be used during the integrity.
Okay, and if you remember anything else, do you remember anything after that?
So then we took him to UBC.
No further questions for the committee?
Cross examination.
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, officer. You're free to leave. Anything further on behalf of the people?
Just I have one.
UMass.
Nothing further on that.
People rest.
The people do it.
Thank you. All right, anything on behalf of the defense?
At this time, Your Honor, defense moves, the directed verdict.
Oh, you're talking wrong.
Okay,
Go to, just go to the.
we'll direct the verdict at this time, Your Honor. The people do have a burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt of every element with which the crime, at the crime with which, Ms. Erin Dozier Jackson was charged. And the people do have a burden of proving the property in question belonging to someone else. The people have not established ownership of the vehicle. The proofs that have come forth at this point are the people's witnesses, show that the car was registered to someone as of May of 2023, which is 3 months after this incident. is said to have taken place, Your Honor. That's the title and the registration. There's no proof of who the car belongs to at the time of this incident, and the people do have to prove. They gotta prove it. Maybe they don't know. Sometimes we can argue that they don't have to prove the property belongs to the complaining witness, but they have to prove the property belongs to someone else. And they haven't shown who that property belonged to. The exhibits that the people have put forth, Your Honor, are not at all helpful. It looks to me, Your Honor, that people's is for brake repair that would have occurred a couple of months after this, is at the estimate, 2 months after the incident is supposed to have taken place. The tire repair, Your Honor, I don't know who the customer is. I don't know what car this is for. It's just not helpful at all. So even considering the evidence in light most favorable to the people do have a burden of proof beyond reasonable doubt, each and every element. And the case that the people have put forth just does not, it does not allow it to meet their burden of proof, Your Honor. The complaining witness testified that that she knew Ms. Erin Jackson Dozier to be Ms. Cornera Jackson Dozier's wife. So the testimony is that she goes over, that the complaining witness goes over to the Moray and Rossiter location at the time of the incident to get title or registration or something like that, indicating that even at the time that she goes there, she's not the owner of the vehicle. I believe that on redirect, people did even ask Ms. Patrice Jones whether or not she was the owner of the vehicle on the day in question. I think she said that she was not. So without getting into everything else, I know the court is a great trier of fact. The people through the testimony and the exhibits that have come forth just do not have enough to meet their burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. And so we're going to ask, even at this point, that the court direct for it.
Ms. Ritter? Thank you, Judge. So Judge, if the court is looking at the motion for directed verdict in light most favorable to the non-moving party, which would be the people, I'm gonna ask the court to look at two things, Judge. The first issue, as far as the ownership, Your Honor, looking at criminal jury instructions 32.2 for the malicious destruction of personal property. It says that the people must prove following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First being that the property belongs to someone else, and I believe Ms. Stevenson did bring that point up in her motion for directed verdict to the court that the key word is the property must belong to someone else. So even taking the fact, the testimony from the complaining witness, as people call the complaining witness, she testified that it was her vehicle that was registered in the name of Cornera Jackson Dozier, and that she went to this location. She testified she went to this location on Moray and Rossiter to pick up the title registration from Cornera Jackson Dozier's mother to get that information transferred to her own name. So with that being said, Judge, based off the testimony, the people believe that we established beyond a reasonable doubt that Ms. Curtis Jones was the owner of the vehicle. She testified that she had this vehicle in her possession. She testified that she had this vehicle during her relationship with Ms. Cornera Jackson Dozier during the time they were together. I believe it was from June 2021 to January 2023 before this incident. And she's testified that she's in ownership of this vehicle now. Now, Judge, if the court doesn't accept the argument from the people, the alternative will be that due to the jury instructions, Your Honor, it doesn't say that the property has to belong to the complaining witness, it just has to belong to someone else. So even if the people did not prove that it was Ms. Curtis Jones' vehicle, there's enough evidence to establish that this car was in the name of someone other than Ms. Erin Jackson. And that's all we had to prove, that it was in the property belonged to someone else in this matter. Now, to the second point, Your Honor, as far as the value of the property or the value of the damages that were done to the vehicle, the complainant witness, Ms. Curtis Jones, did provide receipts to the court. And I believe People's Proposed Exhibit, or People's Exhibit A, which was the tire receipt for $60, which she testified to Miss Erin Jackson Dozier getting out of her vehicle and stabbing her tire, which made it flat. Your Honor, we heard testimony from the reporting officer that once he got to the location, he observed a flat tire from the incident that occurred. The receipt for the damages that were done to the mechanical damages that were done to the vehicle, due to the fact that there was damage done to the outside of the vehicle for $319, Your Honor. The testimony supporting the damages for that, if that's not sufficient for the court, I'm asking the court to take into consideration the testimony supporting the flat tire in this incident, Judge. So at this time, if the people had not met the burden of proof for illicit search of the property 200 or more, but less than 1,000, the people have definitely met the burden of proof for malicious destruction of property less than $200 based on the testimony for the flat tire and the receipt that was provided to the court for $60. So with that being said, Judge, I believe there's enough evidence for the trier fact, which is this court, to determine whether Ms. Erin Jackson Dozier is guilty or not guilty of malicious destruction of property less than 200. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Lisa.
The people have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that someone other than the defendant owns the property, Your Honor, and they have not done that. The proofs that they've submitted show that 3 months after the incident, the property becomes the ownership, according to the Secretary of State of the complaining witness. They put forth no proof, Your Honor, as to who the owner of the property is on the date of the incident, which means that they can't prove that my client was not the owner of the property. The evidence has come forth that Ms. Jones believes that Erin Dozier Jackson is the wife of Cornelia Dozier Jackson. I don't know if I can get the names wrong, but that this is a married couple, and she testified that she's going over someplace to get some proof of ownership of the car, which she does not get until 3 months after the event takes place. So the people have, they have an interesting burden that they have to meet here, Your Honor, but they do have to prove that Erin Dozier Jackson is not the owner of the property. They have to prove that the property is owned by somebody other than, at the time of the incident, Erin Dozier Jackson, and they have not done that. Again, looking at the estimates for the auto repair work, there is absolutely no connection between any other than the date of this repair and the $60 is testified to. We don't know what car this is for. We don't know who the customer is. And again, with regard to People's Exhibit B, that's, a couple months after this is supposed to take place. So again, the people do have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that my client is not the owner of that car. I don't know if they have to prove that the complaining witness is the owner, but they have to prove that my client is not the owner. And we don't have any proof who the car belongs to at the time of the incident, but we do have testimony from the officer as well as the complaining witness herself that there is a marital relationship between the parties that she went to get the car from.
MCR 6.419 D indicates that in an action tried without a jury after the prosecutor has rested the prosecution's case and chief the defendant without waiving the right to offer evidence, if the motion is not granted, may move for acquittal on the ground that a reasonable doubt exists. The court may then determine the facts and render a verdict of acquittal, or may decline to render judgment until the close of all the evidence. If the court renders a verdict of acquittal, the court shall make findings of fact. Defense has made a motion and the court receives the motion or considers the motion, I should say, in the light most favorable to the non-moving party, that being the people. Considering the evidence in the light most favorable to the non-moving party, the court has, the evidence that there was some exchange, altercation, confrontation, between the witness and the defendant, that at some point, the witness indicates that, the defendant physically hit, the vehicle that she was driving in. And then there were some receipts submitted, as to the alleged damage that was done to the vehicle. With respect to the ownership by another, considering the motion in light most favorable to the non-moving party, the court considers the following evidence. The testimony on the record is that, Ms. Jones says that Ms. Jackson Dozier's wife, Ms. Aaron Jackson Dozier's wife, was the owner of the vehicle on the date of the incident. And that's all, that's the only evidence on the record as to the ownership of the vehicle on the date of the incident. So on the date of the incident, the witness testifies that it is her belief that the car was owned by Ms. Jackson Dozier, the other Ms. Jackson Dozier. There was no, title to the vehicle submitted for the date of the incident. Additionally, looking at the title that's presented to the court, well, actually, I apologize. I meant to request to see the back of the title. Can I see the back of the title? Well, it's the back, well, we admitted the whole title, so you didn't make a copy of the back of the title, but I needed to see the back of the title. And we agreed that the entire title was admitted in the evidence, but Ms. Stevenson didn't make a copy of that, okay? So in looking at the title, I see where it appears that the title was issued by the Secretary of State on May 11th of this year. But it doesn't indicate that the title was transferred from any place, any party, any person. Whereas Ms. Jones admits that she didn't own the vehicle on the date of the incident. And so at some point, she went to the Secretary of State and received this title. Or it appears that she went to the Secretary of State and received this title. But yeah, it appears that she went to the Secretary of State and received the title, but the title is not, and I don't want any other documents, and no, okay, I'm giving my decision at this point. So that's the first observation. And then the other observation is with respect to the registration. Registration is also, it's not dated, but the court will take judicial notice that a registration expires 12 months after it's issued. And this registration was issued on July 9th, the registration expires on July 9th of 2024, which the court would then take notice that it would have been issued July of 2023, as it would expire 1 year after its issue date. So with respect to the testimony of ownership, there is evidence on the record. Evidence is the sworn testimony of a witness. exhibits admitted into evidence, and anything else the court receives as evidence. There is evidence on the record of ownership of the vehicle. So there's evidence that, what's the first name of the other person? Cornera Jackson Dozier was the owner of the vehicle. There's evidence, there's testimony on the record that Cornera Jackson Dozier was the owner of the vehicle. Does that evidence rise to the standard of beyond a reasonable doubt? It does not. It does not rise to the standard of beyond a reasonable doubt. It is what Ms. Jones believed to be the case. It is what she thought to be the case. It is what she, said they put the car in somebody's name so that, because she didn't have an ID, at the time. But there was nothing to support that, even from the standpoint of a title that transferred. So I guess I'm a little confused by the title.